I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Hello, Michael. I do apologize for the technical difficulties that we experienced in trying to interview me. I do hope that this video will assist you with your class assignment. A little bit about me. I am Peggy Allen Towns. My parents were George and Myrtle Allen, and they instilled in their children the importance of hard work, education, and knowing who you are. And I tried to do the same with my daughter, Latricia. One of my mother's favorite sayings was, if you don't know where you've been, you'll never know where you're going. And that probably impacted me with my love for history. My grandmother, Elder Bertha Lyle, was a history maker in that she was the first African-American female to pastor and preach in Decatur, Morgan County, and surrounding areas. I am retired from the U.S. House of Representatives as a district aide. I am a historian and I've authored 3 books, Duty Driven, about North Alabama's African Americans during the Civil War, Scottsboro Unmasked, which sheds light on the roles of locals during the Scottsboro Boys trial, and Scapegoat, the Tommy Lee Hines story, all of which recapture really significant moments in our city's history and our country as well. I grew up in Old Town, the oldest neighborhood in Decatur. That was during segregation, so I attended the all-black schools, Cherry Street Elementary and Lakeside High, through 10th grade. In 1969, our black high school closed due to integration, and we were mandated to attend the white schools. For me, it was Decatur High. In Old Town, Vine Street was the major hub for businesses. Among the many restaurants and cafes, we had numerous professionals, doctors, lawyers, dentists, beauty and barbershops, and a pharmacy too. What African Americans influenced me in my career? Well, from an early age, my mother introduced me to Paul Laurence Dunbar. One of her favorite poems of his was In the Morning, and I can hear it now. Lies, lies, bless the law. Don't you know the days are broad? You better get up, you scamp. Don't there be trouble in this camp. I loved his poems, especially those in dialect and his short stories. Another one of my favorite authors is Zornell Hurston. Did you know that her brother was principal at the Decatur Negro High School in the 1930s? He sure was. Zornell's work was about Black people, and I was so enthralled by her writings about our people. And then there's Toni Morrison and Isabel Wilkerson. They are among my favorites as well. I met Ms. Wilkerson several years ago in Buffalo at a conference, and I have her book, and actually she autographed it for me. She was the first woman of color in the history of American journalism to win a Pulitzer Prize. Her book on the Great Migration and social injustice actually chronicles the past Black experience, our story. What advice would I give to a young person aspiring to be a writer? Well, the first thing would be believe in you. When I started writing my first book, someone asked me, who do you think is going to read a book that you write? My response was, somebody will. And then there are the 3 R's. Read, write, research. Read, research, write. Read books by authors. Check out their style of writing. And if it's a history book, you want your facts to be accurate, so research. And then start your journey, write. Another thing is to be patient. Most books aren't written overnight. My first book took a few years. Also, writers at times might experience what I call writer's block. If that happens, take a breather and start a new page. And never ever forget these 10 small words because they carried me through life. If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. I hope this is helpful to you, Michael. Blessings.
Today I will be interviewing my cousin, Dr. Reginald Jackson. Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well originally I'm from Decatur, Alabama, born and raised here, and blessed to be in a beautiful family where music was a part of our life. And so I went to Summerville Road, and then I went to Oak Park Middle School at that time, and then Decatur High School, and then to Alabama A&M University, and then to the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and then to Northwestern in Chicago, and then Florida State University. So I've been to school all my life. And now I'm currently a professor of music at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, where I am the gospel choir director, and also I teach class with winds, and I created a course called African American Music from 1619 to the present. So in a nutshell, the last probably 10 years or so, I've been traveling around the country doing workshops, performing. And so as I was playing Amazing Grace for you there, I'm actually following my dream and doing what I love. So I'm blessed to be able to do that.
What African Americans influenced you in your career?
I was thinking about that question because I'd have to say my greatest influence was probably my mother, who played the piano for the same church for over 50 years. And so she was the daughter of a Methodist minister, and so she learned to play. And so our family was very musical, and then we sit around in the living room and sing and do all of that good stuff for holidays. So we still do that when we get together now, just in honor of that. But because my grandfather was a minister, and my grandmother was an educator, so education and God and family was really, really important to us. So I would have to say my family. Outside of my family, growing up listening to Aretha Franklin and James Cleveland do gospel music, because my mom played like a lot of hymns and stuff, but then when I started hearing like gospel music with all this exciting, music and the harmonies and the choirs and the improvisation. So a lot of what you heard, I was inspired by that. So those would probably be two of the biggest. Yeah.
What advice would you give to a young person inspiring to hold your career?
Well, I think it's not too soon to start thinking about what it is you want to do. Like maybe you want to be a newscaster or do interviews because you seem very comfortable doing it, so that's good. And if you enjoy that and you love that and you know it, some people are really good helpers. Like they really get joy when they're able to help somebody else accomplish something. So I'm always encouraging young people, like as early as I knew in the second grade I wanted to do music. Like anytime something happened with music, I would light up. And so literally music saved my life on numerous occasions. Like, because I used to get in trouble. I was a little mischievous, I'll say it nicely. But I used to get in trouble sometimes. But music always brought me back and centered me. And now to be able to do music and love music is really, really special. So I would encourage young people to go ahead and start thinking about it. If you like to write, practice writing. If you like, I mentioned helping people, but some people maybe you want to be a politician. Some people want to be a lawyer, like to help people who have wrongly been incarcerated or, whatever that is. And I think we've all been given something. You just have to pursue that. You have to really go ahead and get serious about it early on. And the earlier you get serious, the better. So, if I could do it all again, even, I would do better in school. And people say, well, you already have a doctorate. But still, I don't know if I really took advantage of school like I probably should have. I was kind of mischievous. I'll be honest. Don't tell my family, okay? It's that secret. No. But anyway, yeah, that would be it. Follow your dreams.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I am Brooklyn Burks. Today I'll be interviewing Billy Jackson. Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Brooklyn, I am a native of Decatur, Alabama. I've been here for my entire life. I married Dr. Teddy Jackson from Montgomery. I met her at Alabama A&M University. And we have 2 children. They're adults now, but we have 2 children, 1 son and 1 daughter. And I'm on the Decatur City Council. I've been on the Decatur City Council for 25 years. I'm actually the longest serving person in the history of this city on the City Council or in any form of government here.
Okay. What African Americans influenced you in your career?
There were so many, but, who influenced me in my career. And there are people like Thurgood Marshall. There are people like, of course, Dr. Martin Luther King influenced me in my career. John Lewis was a great influence in my career. But the greatest influence in my career was my father. And my father was an influence in my career because he taught me about all of those people, and he made sure that we were involved in government early on in our childhood and in our lives. I attended council meetings as a child, and so the biggest influence as far as what I do with city government was my father.
What advice would you give to a young person aspiring to hold your career?
Always be honest. I think it's important that people understand that you're always going to be honest with them. And even though you have to tell them things sometimes that they might not like, I think they can always respect the fact that you're honest with them. So if you're always honest, and another big thing is getting involved in the community early, making sure that you understand what people in your community need and want, and just kind of build on those 2 things.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for allowing me to interview you today.
It was my
Please
pleasure.
tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Damon Garth. I'm the principal at Austin High School. I've been the principal at Austin High School for the past 2 years. This is my 8th year in being administration. Also, I was a PE teacher and head basketball coach at Austin High School for 12 years, and I've graduated from Austin High School. I'm born and raised in the city of Decatur, and I'm excited about still being a Black Bear.
What African Americans influenced you in your career?
Well, I had several African Americans that have influenced me in my career. First was Coach Mitchell Knox. He was my basketball coach, and also he was my baseball coach, but he was the one that got me into education, and by volunteering and coaching basketball at Austin High School. And he was the one that just, paved the door to say that that you can coach, that you can make it, a difference for the students' lives. And also, professionally, as far as being admin, was Will Green. He was a former assistant principal at Austin High School. He was a great mentor, and he was the one that told me that I could do admin, and I actually shadowed him a lot as well at Austin High School. But those were the 2 African Americans that really influenced me within my career.
And lastly, what advice would you give to a young person aspiring to hold your career?
One good thing, one part of the advice would say is anybody can do it. When I was in your shoes, when I was in middle school, I went to Brookhaven Middle School, and I went to Austin High School. Like I said, I never thought I would be a principal of a high school, but I had people that always believed in me, and I believed in myself and realized that anybody can be anything, because you just got to put your mind to it and realize that if you work hard, if you listen to your teachers, and you do everything that people might ask, you have a chance to be a principal. But it takes time. It took me 12 years as far as with education, and I got, yes, I said 8 years in principalship, but anybody can do it. And I'd like to thank Ms. Addison Garf, for this opportunity, to interview and talk to you about the African Americans that have influenced me.
Hi, I am Alicia Sutherland. Today I will be interviewing my dad, Officer Sutherland. Please tell me a little about yourself.
Yes, my name is Officer Sutherland. I'm a Decatur police officer. I've been a police officer for 17 years now. I'm assigned to the School Resource Officer Unit. And my job every day is to make sure the schools are safe, make sure the faculty, students, and staff are safe every day. That's my primary job every day. Also, I was the first Black school resource officer for Decatur City Schools and Decatur Police Department.
What African American influenced you in your career?
I would have to say the first one was my mom. When I was young, she taught me how to care about people, how to be strong. She taught me those traits. Now, as far as my career, my role models, I would say, they are former police officers now. I would say it was Natus Carlisle. He's a retired police officer. He was with the police department for 25 years. He rose in the ranks as a captain. He went on to retire with the Decatur Police Department, and now he was the chief of police for Alabama A&M. And then I would say the second police officer, he's a former police officer also, was Dexter Elliott. He was a police officer for, I think, about 5 years back in the 90s. He went on to leave the police department, and he became a teacher for Decatur City Schools. And then he went on to become a pretty good businessman in Decatur. So those are the role models, I would say.
What advice would you give to a young person aspiring to your career?
That's a good question. Of course, as a school resource officer, I'm asked that all the time, and I think the advice I would give to young people is always, bet on yourself, believe in yourself. Learn your weaknesses, learn what your fears are, and learn how to overcome them, because, that may have to become a strength of yours to become successful. So always challenge yourself every day. Treat people good, and always be an honest person. That's my advice.
Thank you, Officer Sutherland, for allowing me to interview you today.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Mr. Clay, for meeting with me.
My pleasure. It's good to meet you.
Do you mind please telling me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Philip Clay. I am originally from Decatur, Alabama. I grew up right there. I've known your teacher, Ms. Love, since probably first grade, maybe sooner. She grew up 2 houses down from my grandmother, who I stayed with a lot. So we've known each other since we were little bitty kids a long time ago. I graduated, I went to undergraduate at the University of Alabama, Huntsville. I majored in chemical engineering. I went to graduate school at Emory University, where I received my master's in business administration. And I began working as a chemical engineer. I've done things across different industries. And now I am the global vice president for supply chain and corporate workspace solutions for Invitae, which is a medical genetics company.
What African American influenced you in your career?
That is a great question. There have been many. So I am an engineer. I found out that when I was in elementary school, I was always good at math and science. I always liked it. I was always really good at it. And I didn't actually know what an engineer was. And so I took a test, I think it was in the 3rd or the 4th grade, And it said, hey, because you're good at math and science, you would be good at being an engineer or a scientist. And so it made me say, well, what is an engineer? I looked into it and I started understanding. And what does a scientist mean? I started learning things about George Washington Carver. I started learning things about, you've probably heard the phrase the real McCoy, learning about McCoy and some of his inventions, and there are others. I started learning more about engineering, and I actually met another engineer who also, I think, still lives in Decatur, Alabama. And his name is Tony Egbe. Tony Egbe. He's an engineer at NASA, and he was part of designing the rocket boosters for the space shuttle. So I met him in high school and started talking to him about engineering, and it just made me more and more interested in becoming an engineer. And that's what led me to it. So not so much a historical engineering figure, although I did study them to understand what they had, the kind of work that they did, but it was more of a recent historical engineering figure who was accessible to me, as just like I'm trying to make myself accessible to you.
What advice would you give a young person aspiring to be an engineer?
So engineering is a lot of fun. It's really all about problem solving. It teaches you how to think about solving difficult problems, but it's based on mathematics and science. And so if you want to be an engineer, then you really need to be pretty good at math and science. So in middle school, I think I took algebra 1 and 2. In high school, I took trigonometry and pre-calculus and calculus. I also took a bunch of chemistry courses and physics courses and that sort of thing. And so if you want to be an engineer, you really focus on math and sciences. There's great magazines to read. I don't know if these are still around. When I was a kid, I used to like reading Popular Mechanics and things like that. But start involving yourself in understanding more about engineering. There's great shows on television, such as How Does It Work, that will show you some engineering solutions and explain it at a good level. But start thinking about it. And if you believe it, then you can achieve it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't want me to teach you how to do differential equations?
No, I'm good.
No, okay.
No, I'm good.
I left out a critical part. I also have 2 children. I have one son who just turned 9 years old yesterday. He's in the 3rd grade. And I have another son who is 23 years old, who's a senior at the university, at Georgia State University. And so I remember very well being a middle school student. So I hope this was helpful for you. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope you have a great Black History Month. And if you want to be an engineer, you can do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Makai McGuire. On behalf of Austin Middle School, go Black Bears. I have a couple questions for you today, Miss Marshall.
Okay.
First question, please tell me a little about yourself.
Well, as he stated, I am Tiffany Marshall. I am his mother and also Maddox's mother. I am a family nurse practitioner. I'm here locally in Decatur, co-owner of Kids Planet Urgent Care. I'm also a local real estate broker here, Marshall Realty Group. I also help provide care for elderly in the community with my business called Remedy Home Care Solutions.
Thank you. Second question, what African Americans influenced your career?
I would have to say my parents, because my parents, they gave me a lot of direction. They showed me what I needed to do. They instilled things like hard work and discipline and work ethic into me. And I would also say someone that I've enjoyed reading and learning about is Sheila Johnson, the CEO of BET.
Thank you. Third question, what advice would you give to a young person aspiring to hold your career?
Well, the first thing that I would say is no matter what career you're going into, you have to put God first. Study hard, work hard, set your goal. Know exactly what it is that you're going in after and attack. You have to be disciplined and focused. While everybody else is out having fun, you're going to be that person that's, at home studying. But don't worry, it will all pay off and it's all well worth it in the end. So I say, pray about it, set your goal, and attack. Go after your goal and achieve.
Thank you very much for your time for this interview.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Maddox McGuire, and I am here on behalf of Austin Middle School Black Bears. I am also here joined by my grandmother, Sarah Smith. Okay, today I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
First question, please tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Sarah Smith. I've been a healthcare provider for the past 33 years. I am local. I am also co-owner of Kids Planet Urgent Care, where we provide pediatric care for children. I am also a professor of graduate studies for Walden University.
Thank you. Second question will be, what African American influenced you to pursuing your career?
I would have to say that would be Dr. King. I am just inspired by all of the work that he did to fight for human rights, equal rights, equality, justice, everything that was important for society and all the problems that society was experiencing. I'm just happy to be able to be a part of that era and understand all the things that he fought for. Also, another individual that inspired me in terms of healthcare and my career would be Dr. Melissa Freeman. She is a 90-year-old, well, she's 93 now, physician who still practices to this day, and just her dedication to the field of medicine itself has really inspired me to continue my journey in medicine and to make a difference in the life of a child as well as enhancing the life of the child.
And last question, what would you say to someone trying to achieve in your career?
I would say first, put God first, study hard, be passionate about what it is that you've chosen to do in life, and you have to work at it every single day, in order to accomplish those goals that you've set for yourself. But you have to be dedicated, and more importantly, God first in every decision and encounter that you make in your life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. White, for meeting with me. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, my name's people call me Rome. I'm from Decatur. I'm from here. I went to Austin. I done the sports thing. I played sports. I played in college. Graduated from University of North Alabama with a digital media degree, and I do art full time now.
What African American influenced your career?
It's like no way to answer that with one person. You got teachers, you got auntie, you got people like Kanye West, a big influence though. It was crazy because when I was in school, it wasn't nothing but like gangster rappers, right? So I wasn't no gangster, so it was like one rapper that was like, normal, and I kind of followed him, and the way he done things was kind of being from Decatur, it get a little crazy, right? And my speed was different, and seeing somebody do it in the industry kind of inspired me to be my own person. You know what I'm saying? Agree with it or not, I kind of rock out how I think is best, and you know what I'm saying? It could benefit you in a lot of ways.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a young person who wants to be an artist?
Take it serious. If you're gonna do it, it's gonna have to be the most important thing in your life. You can't halfway do it. It's when y'all get out of school and you start thinking about how you're gonna take care of yourself, you either get a job or to do something like art or anything that you would, deem fun to do for a career, it's probably gonna take 100% dedication, or you might not want to do that. You might just be wasting your time, if that makes sense. But I would say anything you want to do. It don't just have to be art. It could be music. It could be acting. It could be or it could just be a job that you're going for. If you're not gonna take it serious, then you're not gonna get the most out of you. If that makes sense. For sure. For sure.
Well, thank you for meeting with me.
No problem. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for meeting with me today, first of all.
Okay.
And my first question is, please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Lamecia Pearson Howard. I am a proud Austin High alum. I graduated from Austin a few years ago, not too long ago. I am currently a practicing attorney in Decatur, Alabama. I've been practicing in Morgan County for approximately, I guess in September to be 19 years. I have a private practice where I practice in criminal law, juvenile law, family law, probate, so divorces, custody, juvenile delinquencies, probate, a little bit of everything. Married 17 years, have 2 daughters, and that's probably the greatest thing I'm proud of is being a mom to 2 beautiful little girls.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. And let me, I'm a proud HBCU graduate of the Tennessee State University, okay? And a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
What African Americans influenced you in your career?
Honestly, when I was growing up, I didn't see Black lawyers, never interacted with any, never had the privilege to meet any. So honestly, my first introduction to a Black attorney or female attorney was through The Cosby Show. I was fascinated with The Cosby Show. So Claire Huxtable, I wanted my life to mimic Claire Huxtable's lifestyle. And even honestly, from, I guess, The Cosby Show to A Different World. So the Hillman College. So I really wanted the HBCU experience. I wanted to be able to celebrate Black culture. I wanted to be able to give back to my culture. I wanted to be a part of something that was able to, for people, for children and my kids and my family members to be able to see that we can have professional Black people in professional settings. So for me, it was just wanting to be a voice and be a part of giving back and being a representative of my community. So why not do that as a lawyer, to do criminal law and to do family law? And honestly, I guess as a child, when you see it, you look at as being in the courtroom and looking as being a criminal lawyer. But I guess for the Huxtables, it was the family law. So it just kind of it really started with The Cosby Show. Because for me, The Cosby Show was just, loved everything about the Huxtables.
Okay, and what advice would you give to me who wants to be a lawyer?
Okay, so you want to be a lawyer. You can absolutely, positively do it. Anything, I'm very grounded in spiritual foundation. So a lot of my background is also spiritual. So scripture is definitely a foundation. I can do all Philippians 4 and 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Was just a motto that I have always lived by. And with school, with college, with law school, and honestly, with anything in life, you just have to be beautifully you, be true to you, and anything worth having is worth working hard for. So nothing is given. So to whom much is given, much is required. So it's just you having to practice structure, discipline, hard work, and almost like a delayed gratification. So you put in work now so you can live good later. So, but is it doable? Absolutely, positively. If I did it, anybody can do it. Okay. Any other questions?
That is a great thing. Can I ask you one more question if you don't mind?
You sure can, sweetie.
Can you hear me? How long were you in law school?
Okay, so you're in law school 3 years. So you do undergraduate 4 years, law school 3 years. So 7 years, it's totally doable. And I think, and honestly, when I took the bar exam, it was like a 3-day bar exam. It's no longer a 3-day bar exam. So it's more of a mental thing. It was more of a mental thing back then because it was 3 days. And it's just I think a lot of things that we worry about and stress about is just in our minds, because a lot of things it doesn't manifest, because it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as horrific as people try to make it seem. Law school is not. Is it hard work? Is it hard? Yes, but it's doable. And you just have to, you have to follow life almost like a butterfly. You know, it starts off as a caterpillar and obtains its beauty through getting wings and flying. So you almost have to just take time and enjoy the process and just walk through the process and just trust and believe that there's beauty in the end. And it is. It always works out.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for all the advice. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. And so you can come and see me and come and intern with me anytime. So I'll be looking for you, okay?
Thank you.
You are so welcome.
All right. So you tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Dante Pride. I'm actually from Decatur. I graduated from Austin. Let's just say is closer to 10 than 2. So I'm a husband to a beautiful wife. I'm a Christian hip hop artist. I've gotten the chance to travel as far as the Bahamas, the Denver, Colorado, to minister to young adults, youth, and adults, and so many places. So I'm also an entrepreneur. Own several businesses with me and my wife. I ran an artist development school for kids ages 12 to 17 that aspire to be an artist. And why 12 is because 12 is the first time I stepped into a professional recording studio and actually recorded a song. So yeah.
What song did you record when you were 12?
When I was 12, I recorded a song called Lose Myself. And basically it was one of them cap things. I had really never been through too much yet. And I remember I was in middle school, I was passing out the CDs and stuff to a bunch of friends and stuff. And I spelled lose wrong. I spelled loose on the CD. So they was kind of on me and everything. I got joned on a little bit at school, but it's all good. So yeah, I recorded a song called Lose Myself. Like I said, I ain't even really know much about what I was rapping about, but that was the song.
What African American inspired you to perform?
I gotta say, and this is not my favorite artist either, but I gotta say Jay-Z. And the reason why I say Jay-Z is because really just being pragmatic, I cannot rap at age 60. I'm not gonna be rapping at age 60, but I just believe that with him, outside of performing and stuff, I believe he puts his money in places where it needs to go. He's smart. Jay-Z ain't got to drop another album. He ain't got to hit another stage again if he don't want to. And even if you're familiar with Tupac, I know you are, like, he brought Tupac's masters. So outside of, the music and stuff, he just inspires me because he's smart with the money that he's done making the music. So
what advice do you have for a young person that wants to rap or that wants to become a rapper someday?
I would just say, man, and this is very cliche, but I would say, man, just keep going. A lot of people don't realize what you put inside of you is eventually what's going to come out. If you download negative thoughts inside of you, negative thoughts is what's going to be your reality. Positive thoughts inside of you, positive thoughts are going to be your reality. I feel like it's the same thing. Like, you're doing this music thing, yeah, like if you keep on, if you keep at it, like eventually you're going to begin to reap what you have been sown through your music. A lot of your favorite artists and stuff, they probably release millions of songs before we even knew who they actually were. So you got to keep going and know your why. And when you know your why of why you're doing something, that would be your motivation to never give up.
Can you share some music with us?
Yeah. So let me see. I'm just trying to live in an overflow. That ain't me talking, it's the Holy Ghost. Go and get the bag, get the bag for the seed to grow. Let them talking rags, that won't fit inside the envelope. I just thought that you should know I'm living in an overflow. Go and get the rag shit, run it up, it can fit inside the bag. Yeah, I'm living in an overflow. Go and get the rag shit, run it up, it can fit inside the bag. So that right there is one of the ladies. It's called Overflow.
That was a really good song. I like that.
Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for presenting the song you made. And hopefully I get to meet you someday too.
Man, let's do it, man. I'm in the Ville, man. So hopefully we can. We'll link up one day, man. Tell Miss Love, let me stop by. I'll pull up.
Yes, definitely.
Hi, I'm Cameron Harris. Today I will be interviewing the Seabiscuit of Decatur, Alabama. A little bit about yourself.
How y'all doing today? My name is Josh Pearson. I am from Decatur, Alabama. Nickname is Seabiscuit. I went to Austin High School, graduated from Austin High School, was a part of Cedar Ridge Middle School. 24 years old, played football, basketball, and track in high school. I walked on at Jacksonville State and earned a full scholarship to play football at Jacksonville State. I went undrafted to the NFL, played 2 years. First year we won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, and now I just signed a contract to go play in the CFL in May.
Tell me how you got the name Seabiscuit.
I got the name Seabiscuit when I was 5 years old. Coach Rodney Young, my first time playing football, didn't know anything about football. They put me at wide receiver and just told me to go. And I ran, and I was the fastest one on the team. So they named me after the horse Seabiscuit, which is way before your time, because it's before my time. So Seabiscuit was a fast, famous racehorse back in the day. And that's how I got the name Seabiscuit, and it stuck with me ever since. Even Mike Evans called me Seabiscuit. You know, teachers still call me Seabiscuit. Nobody called me as Josh really. Everybody back home called me.
What African American influenced you in your career?
Well, I have more than one. One I used to always write about when I was in school. We had to do a Black History program. Was Martin Luther King Jr. Just how he was with discrimination, how we all are equal in each other's eyes. Nobody's different, no matter the race. We all lovers, man. Your skin shouldn't determine, you know, how others should be treated. So I would say Martin Luther King on that. And then Kobe Bryant, just because I'm an athlete. I love the way his grind is, his passion is to the game. He's very dedicated, he's humble, and nobody can stop him from what he wanted. And so it'd be those two, Martin Luther King and Kobe Bryant.
What advice would you give to a young person inspired to hold your career?
The advice I would give is, man, to chase your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything you don't put your mind to, man, because nobody can stop you from being as great as you want to be. The only person that can stop you is yourself. And like I said, it's going to take a lot of dedication and hard work. Nothing is given to you in life, especially being a young Black male. It's hard. It's not as easy as others. But once you put your foot down, nobody can stop you, man. And you just got to stay dedicated. Perseverance, man. You're going to have a lot of perseverance coming at you. A lot of obstacles in life will come at you. And you just got to put your head down and run through them. You play football, so football is going to teach you a lot that life can't teach you. When you feel like quitting, you feel like giving up, but you got a family you got to provide for. Just like you got a quarterback you got to protect. When you pass setting, it's bigger than you. Life is bigger than you. Time is not on your side. And like I said, by you being a young black male, man, it's gonna be tough. But you gotta put your foot down and finish the race. Don't give up, don't quit. Man, you attack each day and every day like it's your last. Attack every second like it's your last. And you'll come out on top.
Thank you, Dr. Pittman, for sharing your Seabiscuit Energy with us today and every day. Peace out.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back in the sky.